sun begins to set over Estoril, the final race of the day prepares to get underway. The Stock European Championship returns for the 2025 season. Known for its close competition and experienced field, this class delivers fast physical racing, and Estoril's demanding layout provides the perfect test to open the year. All eyes will be on Lorenzo Dalla Porta. The 2019 Moto3 World Champion came within touching distance of the title last season, and now he returns as the highest placed rider from 2024. But a new season always brings new challenges. With a competitive grid and plenty of riders looking to make their mark early, Estoril could set the tone for an unpredictable title fight ahead. The 2024 Stock European Championship began in style at Misano, where former Moto3 World Champion Dalla Porta laid down an early marker with a commanding victory on the Adriatic coast. Round 2 took the field to Estoril, where tricky conditions caught out race leader Dino Iozzo at the chicane, but there were no such problems for Adrian Rodriguez, who mastered the mixed weather to claim his first win of the year. The drama continued to Catalonia, with Dalla Porta delivering a spectacular last lap charge to take victory ahead of Mario Mayor, who celebrated his first podium of the season. In Portimao, more final lap fireworks followed. Mayor once again came close but had to settle for second as Archie Bob McDonald secured his maiden win in the class. After 2 near misses, Mayor finally got his reward at the iconic Circuito de Jerez Angel Nieto, taking a well-earned victory and moving to the top of the championship standings. The penultimate round in Aragon saw Demis Mejela take his first win of the season before a return to Estoril for the finale. So Mario Mayor do just enough to clinch the 2024 Stock European Championship. Here is the class photo then. We saw Lorenzo Dalla Porta in there, and he will take some stopping, you would have to imagine, in 2025, but this is a field packed with quality. Welcome along to the final race of the day here in Estoril. I'm Chris Jordan, bringing you coverage alongside Conor Doherty. We've had 5 phenomenal races. We've had a laugh or two and maybe learned something along the way too. But this is the final race. This is the opening race of the Stock Championship. And if it's anything like the 2024 campaign, we should be in for a treat.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. The Stock European Championship is always one to watch. It's always fascinating. As you mentioned earlier, it was so tight at the end of last season.
Iker Garcia took pole position in Estoril on Saturday. Let's listen in and see how he did it.
Yeah, I'm very happy because this pre-season we work a lot, and this weekend I feel very, very good. I'm a bit nervous because the qualifying is my weak point, but I'm very happy. I think tomorrow we can do a good race, and yeah, time to enjoy. The goal is this, try to make a good start and push with the group.
Iker Garcia then on pole position for the first time in the stock class. Opportunity beckons for the young Spaniard, Feliz Dia de la Mare. Conor, you're a little bit better at me than the old Catalan.
Feliz Dia de la Mare. It's Mother's Day.
Mother's Day, of course. I probably could have guessed that.
I think so. I think you were trying to read Maria there, maybe.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
I did.
But yeah, Feliz Dia de la Mare. So, yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers who are celebrating out there. Might not be the case that it is Mother's Day in your country, but these riders, well, as we know, a lot of them are from countries that do have Mother's Day today. Quite a lot of them in Park for May have mentioned it. So, yeah, absolutely a huge warm hug to all the mothers out there and all the mothers of these riders as well.
Well said, Conor. So, back to the track action. It's Garcia on pole, Borja Gomez, a familiar name to some. He's with Team Honda Laglice this year, formerly in the Moto2 class. Joint stock, vastly experienced rider. He's got 2 Moto2 European Championship podiums from years gone by. They came in Aragon 2023. We've seen him at the World Supersport stage, Moto2 European Championship stage, European Superbikes. So he's been around. He's done his time across some different paddocks. Archibald MacDonald, the Australian for PS Racing Team, came 7th in last year's championship, Connor, but did pick up one unforgettable victory in Portimao.
Yeah, I think Portugal's a place where he's going to be feeling happy to be racing once again here. Even if it's not the same circuit, those points in the Algarve did so much for him. And he's also one of the few riders to be back here. I think maybe he's the second highest finisher after Lorenzo Della Porta to still be on this grid, if I'm not correct.
Yeah, I think you're correct there. We've lost some of the top riders from the season gone. Mario Mayor has moved on to Moto2, as has Demis Mihela, Dino Iozzo, and Adrian Rodriguez, and Di Verdoya as well have all moved on to pastures new as well. So Archibald MacDonald one of the highest returning riders. He's already got a win under his belt. He's got a podium in Aragon under his belt, so he must fancy his chances a little bit of adding to certainly taking more success, but perhaps even putting together a title charge.
And why not? Why not? I mean, it's so fantastic as well, I think, to have the Australian presence here. I mean, he's not the only one. We've also got Declan van Rosmalen as well. So yeah, there's some real talent on this Stock European Championship stage. 11 countries make up this 2025 entry list. So yeah, loads of talent on display.
Exactly. It's great to see such a vast quantity of countries represented here in the stock class. Of course, we've been going through JuniorGP, European Talent Cup, Moto2 today, and just from far and wide across the globe, we seem to have nations represented. Filippo Foligni, then, the 29-year-old, has
Where's he from?
extensive experience. I couldn't tell you. No. Of course, the Italian Foligni. But previously Moto2 and Moto3 CEV rider before 2017, with a few World Championship appearances as well in Moto2, the last of which came all the way back in 2018 for Foligni.
Fans familiar with the British Talent Cup, of course. Emmanuel Brinton there with Promo Racing.
Yeah, Brinton, he's made some good progress in recent campaigns, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on how he goes this year, the young Brit.
Yeah, starts from P8, so that's going to be fantastic for him.
Yeah, Tibor Varga then, the Hungarian rider, a graduate of the Northern Talent Cup, which of course sees many Hungarian riders, Romanian, French, Swiss, all from all across different parts of Europe.
Fantastic to see those riders coming through as well and continuing racing here at this level.
Yeah, Varga, not a debut. He has been here, of course, last season, picked up a P5. Now, this is perhaps a surprise. Lorenzo Dalla Porta, so far down on the grid. Just missed out on the championship last year. He did miss a race in Portimao due to other commitments, and that did prove costly for him. Now, starting the season here in Estoril, took victory in Mezzano last season, took victory in Catalonia. Always a podium threat. You would expect Dalla Porta, particularly in the dry conditions, to come charging through the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't seem to be too much of a problem necessarily last year either, if he were to find himself qualifying a bit further behind, because he was capable of just consuming asphalt like there was no tomorrow and ploughing his way through the grid and finding himself in P1 or at least in the podium fight. And in the end, there were just 7 points in it. I mean, missing that race in last season's European Championship, I mean, effectively is the reason why he didn't win. Not to take anything away from Mario Mion, of course.
Yeah, it will prove costly. Of course, riders can crash and anything can happen, but he denied himself the opportunity to gain more points. So your starting grid for the Stock European Championship race here sees Garcia on pole ahead of Gomez and McDonald. Then it's Jacopo Crataro, Sanchez, Valle, Foligni on the third row with Brinton and Varga.
After them on row 4, we've got Dalla Porta, of course, the Moto3 World Champion back in 2019, Santos Trias, and in row 5, Garcia Venturini and Romero, row 6, Diaz Del Olmo and Ruiz. Row 7, Capote, Queses and Jimenez. On row 8, Bevilacqua, Saif and Fuertes, row 9, Nestola, Van Rosmalen, and Betin. 2 more rows to come. Row 10, Daliano, Valente, and Malter. And row 11, Linares and Pilipenko.
Just about ready to get underway then here in Estoril for the final race of the day. It's worth mentioning, as you look at the screens, you see a lovely, completely dry track with sun shining down on Autodromo do Internacional do Estoril. However, that has not been the case this weekend, has it, Connor? There's no other way to say it, but the heavens have opened on multiple occasions throughout Saturday. Early this morning we thought we were going to be in for a very wet day of action, but thankfully we're looking good for nice dry weather.
Yeah, with comments like the heavens having opened, I would accuse you of being superlative in different conditions, but it really is the case. I mean, we saw at the beginning of the day that there was a torrential downpour. The clouds were on the edge of the horizon throughout the day, and then of course in qualifying, well, the conditions were very, very different indeed. It was pouring down all Saturday, and Friday was not much better either. So none of these riders have really had a chance to get to grips with the track in these conditions. So we'll have to see how they manage to adapt on race day effectively.
Yeah, a valid point. It's led to what could be a bit of a mixed grid, you could say. The likes of Della Porta starting from 10th, but you would have to say pace will be king in this stock race as we get set to go for 16 laps of fun. So riders are just going around through the SS section, up through the reverse corkscrew, around the iconic Parabolica, Ayrton Senna next up, and then they will roll up and take their grid positions.
Yeah, it was really interesting as well to hear from Iker Garcia before, where he said qualifying wasn't his strong point. He says that and he's on pole, so what are his strong points? I mean, it really makes you think, what's going to be happening here?
Catch me if you can, fellas.
Absolutely.
Seems to be the message. Garcia, he's had some decent performances throughout the years in this class. He's picked up a P4, I think, before P2 even in Estoril this time last year, P8 in Aragon. So steady performances consistently in that top 8, top 9 in 2024. A couple of crashes here and there naturally, and then Estoril, P20, 20 points in a P2. Superb result for Garcia. So he's on pole here. It's a circuit he likes. Can he convert it into a victory? Well, it won't come easy. Archibald MacDonald definitely eyes on the prize here. So we're just about ready to get underway here for the final race of the day, the opening stock European Championship race. 16 laps of mayhem. Ready to go, eyes on the lights, revs are rising, and we are off, and it's a good start for Borja Gomez. It's a good start for Iker Garcia, but it looks like Gomez has got the whole shot going into turn 1. The 69 of Archibald MacDonald is going to fire it up the inside of Garcia as well. He doesn't make it stick. Garcia hangs it on the outside, tries to get back on the inside of Gomez, but no, he stays in P2. Gomez leads. It's Cretaro then in 4th, just behind Archibald MacDonald. While then we see Carlos Valle, Filippo Follini, Pier Venturini taking the next spot. So Borja Gomez takes the early initiative.
Yeah, excellent from Borja Gomez. It looked like he just had a little bit extra when he got off the line there, so absolutely fantastic work. Followed by Iker Garcia so closely, and Archie Bob McDonald just a bit behind there, but this is going to be chopping and changing, I think, because these riders are so close together. I mean, what a start from Tibor Varga as well. Absolutely sensational. He's come up to P4 from P9 on the grid, so he's made up 5 spaces.
Missed
there.
Varga there, yes, indeed. I've completely missed him. Oh my, it's been a long day, Connor. But Borja Gomez, no problems for him. He's out in front, but he
does have a problem. He's got a problem in the shape of Iker Garcia.
Iker Garcia does fire it up the inside of him, and Archie MacDonald says, well, that's an opportunity for me to make a move, but he sticks in P3, change of hands, change of lead. Iker Garcia, the number 11, out in front.
Yeah, out in front for the time being, but this has the feeling of the kind of race where that lead might change throughout the course of the day. We see so much excitement in stock, so much drama, and over the course of today we've seen so much as well. So there's no reason to expect anything less from this stock European Championship opener here in 2025 in Estoril.
Yeah, all the makings of a classic stock race then here, as we see some of the battling just behind the podium places. Alberto Garcia in there with Jacopo Cretaro. So Garcia out front ahead of Borja Gomez. Just trying to keep an eye on Lorenzo Dalla Porta, as it looks like we have a couple of fallers. It looks like two riders have been tangled together, Pierre Venturini and Carlos Valle, the number 33 of Venturini there. So we'll have a replay of that momentarily just to see what went wrong. Venturini and Valle both running inside the top 8. So what that has done is promoted some riders into the top 10, the likes of Duran Santos. Emmanuel Brinton running in 9th place. Great
that's excellent
start for him.
Yeah.
Lorenzo Dalla Porta, he's only climbed a couple of places so far. We haven't seen the best of the 2019 Moto3 World Champion. He's running in 8th position and just has a little bit of ground to make up on the top 6.
Yeah, it's still incredibly tight, so there's plenty of time for Dalla Porta to take advantage of the experience he's got. But for the time being, he's not making it count. He is into P7 now, and he is leading the group, which is at the head, and he's going to have to try and make up that ground now.
So it looks like we've established an early race rhythm here. As you see, Tibor Varga up 4 places. Alberto Garcia up 7 as well. A strong start for him, getting well into the point scoring positions and very much in the podium battle. So Garcia, the back of this top 6 group, Iker Garcia has clear road ahead of him. Looks like he wants to just put a little bit of space between himself and Borja Gomez. Gomez was your early race leader, getting the whole shot at lights out. But Garcia has found his stride. A 1:41.715. Brilliant stuff from Garcia.
Yeah, he's the first rider to break into the 141s as well. And now there's a 0.4 second gap in terms of lap times. So that's really impressive. What a lap there from Iker Garcia.
Yeah, the pace is only going to get hotter and hotter, you would imagine, here in the stock class. So Borja Gomez settled into 2nd. Archibald McDonald has got some problems coming from behind. Jacopo Cretaro having a little luck, but he's just too far behind the Italian on the Australian. Tibor Varga, the number 47, who's come through the Northern Talent Cup, a talented rider at that level, looking to convert that into some success now on the European stage in Moto2.
Yeah, Dalla Porta leading this group now. He really needs to try and bridge the gap that he's still got ahead of him with the leading group. There's just 2.2 seconds there. He's actually seeing that gap ahead of him grow a bit. So that's not what the Italian and arguably the title favourite for this year would have really wanted to happen in these opening laps.
Yeah, not going according to the script for Dalla Porta, starting 10th on the grid, having a tough time in qualifying due to the difficult conditions in the rain, wet qualifying practice yesterday afternoon on Saturday. No such problems though for Iker Garcia. He started on pole and now he is still leading this race, having fallen behind Borja Gomez in the opening stages. He is starting to put some good laps together. Another mid 141 for him, but the fastest lap of the race comes from Jacopo Cretaro, a 141.6. He's running in 4th position, Cretaro, and swarming all over the rear tyre of RG Bob McDonald. He's bringing the train of riders behind him, 47 of Varga and the 31 of Alberto Garcia, hunting down a podium as well, chasing a first podium in the class, those riders.
Yeah, Cretaro really doing the hard work there, just getting his head down and trying to get onto the back tyre of Archibald McDonald. He's getting the job done, or so it seems so far, but an excellent ride so far.
So then Garcia, advantage has grown out to 0.6 of a second. What does Gomez and what do McDonald, even Cretaro, who's setting the fastest lap of the race so far, what do they have for the number 11? He seems to just keep growing that advantage, just a few bike lengths at every opportunity. So, and here we go, the riders coming in behind. Lorenzo Dalla Porta leading this group of riders in 7th position. Dalla Porta we had tipped to make a charge through the field, but just doesn't seem to have the pace. He's still in the 142s, 142.7 last time around. Just nowhere near the pace of the guys at the top.
No, and I think we've just seen Andrea Baton slipping through the timing as well, so maybe his race has come to an end, maybe not, I'm not quite sure, but the riders are getting faster. I think the last lap from Tibor Varga was the fastest so far. Now it's the entire top 5 who are into the 141s, so there is still a lot of pace and a lot of race pace to that at the front of this stock race.
Yeah, out front though, crucially, the gap is growing. Iker Garcia is out to 0.7 of a second. Borja Gomez laid down an early challenge to Garcia, but Garcia responded in kind, and now he is laying down a challenge of his own. We said it, you said it during his qualifying interview just before the race began, that he says his qualifying was his most difficult aspect. So if that's the most difficult aspect, this must be a piece of cake for him. It's certainly proving to be so far.
No, it's a walk in the park. A walk in the park. He also said, which I thought was really interesting, really positive to hear, that now it's time to enjoy it. And absolutely, it looks like he's enjoying it to the full. So yeah, Iker Garcia. Oh, who's down there? It's
Gillian Nestela, unfortunately,
Yeah.
seems to have had a crash. Nestela running towards the back of the field. It looks like he's trying to rejoin. Doesn't look like he's hurt either. But we'll see if he can rejoin or not, if he can get that motorbike restarted. So, looking out front, and Garcia's lead is growing and growing. It looks like a 3-way fight for the final podium places. Borja Gomez, Archibald McDonald, and Jacopo Cretaro all fighting for 2nd and 3rd position, but we haven't seen any changes in position now for a couple of laps. Tibor Varga, is he just closing in on the riders ahead of him? He isn't just closing in, he's swallowing up the ground in between them. Varga putting in the fastest lap of the race a couple laps ago, and I think, has he done it again? He most certainly has. A 141.444, a new best race lap. So Varga is on the charge. The Hungarian is hungry for a podium.
excellent, excellent. He's also the 2nd fastest rider, I think, through Sector 1 after Iker Garcia, our race leader, so he's really putting in a great shift in that opening sector.
So that 3-way fight for a podium finish is now a 4-way fight. Borja Gomez still at the head of a 4-way fight for 2nd. McDonald, Cretaro, Varga chasing pack. No changes in recent laps. Looks like Gomez might just have a little bit extra, but Cretaro and Varga, they're very much queuing up behind Archibald McDonald here, and it's a matter of time by the looks of things. McDonald is holding defensive lines. You just wonder, how much does he know? How much does he know those riders are behind him? Is he going to adapt defensive lines? We're going to get a good opportunity to see what Cretaro and Varga have up their sleeve, coming around the final couple corners, and then the right-hander, long sweeping right-hander. Who will get the best drive out of the final turn 13 and into turn 1? Remember, it's a 1 kilometer long straight here in Estoril. Chance to get into the slipstream and drop out. So Gomez, McDonald, Cretaro. Varga not quite close enough to make any move, but are we going to see a move here? McDonald indeed does make one, pulls out a slipstream of Gomez and moves into 2nd, and now Gomez has got Cretaro all over his rear wheel. So we thought McDonald might be in some trouble there, but indeed he is the one who struck on Gomez into 2nd position. Cretaro is lining up a move here. You just wonder, when is it going to come? He seems to have the pace, but just can't find him opening ahead of him.
Yeah, he needs to find the moment and take advantage of it when it appears ahead of him. But that was absolutely wonderful from Archibald McDonald. Absolutely sensational there. It wasn't what we were expecting to see, and he's done so well to move into that 2nd spot.
Yeah, a couple of yellow flags out in Sector 2 at turn 3, a double yellow, so it might be a bike on track there. So McDonald into 2nd position. Gomez still in the podium, but he's got some trouble behind him. Cretaro and Varga lining up behind him, and of course all of this then plays into the hands of Iker Garcia.
We'll have a double long lap penalty there for a jump start.
So we can see what happened with the double yellow flags. In turn 3, well, Santos. Disappointment for him. Joan
He's
Santos.
calling up to the heavens there. That is true frustration.
Disappointment, but he will be back for Jerez
Yeah.
in a few weeks' time. So back out at the front, and it's Iker Garcia who is leading comfortably here. His lead out to 1.8 seconds over Archibald McDonald. Archibald McDonald then has the advantage. Does he for long? No, he doesn't, because Borja Gomez has some payback on the Australian. While Tibor Varga, here we go, he's taken 2 for 1 at turn 1. Coming down the front straight, we were saying Jacopo Quartaro was all over the rear tyre of Borja Gomez there. So Gomez jumped ahead of McDonald, but then Tibor Varga went ahead of both Quartaro and McDonald, and the Hungarian is in P3.
Yeah, Tibor was really waiting for his moment there, and as you said, he took 2 for 1 and did so incredibly well, because that was a really well orchestrated move, because he'd been behind for quite a while, and he's gone ahead when he needed to go ahead, took full advantage of that moment. So very, very well done, Tibor Varga. Are we going to be seeing you on the podium?
There he goes into second position. He's taken Borja Gomez next. So Varga is on the charge here on the IUM Motorsports machine. He's got 2.4 seconds to make up on Iker Garcia. Last lap, Garcia by far and away the quickest rider, 0.5 of a second to spare over Varga. But looking through sectors 1 and 2 here, and again, yeah, Garcia is setting a very hot pace out front. He's been quicker in 2 of the 3 sectors than Varga. So quite a ways to go, yes. Iker Garcia setting a hot pace out front, holding a commanding advantage. But with just over 8 laps remaining, who knows what could happen. Tibor Varga is on the charge here. This is brilliant here. You hear 2 for 1 behind Quartaro, the number 73, pulls out into the right, takes him first. Archibald McDonald on his left hand side, no problem at all. Pink bike overtakes the pink helmet into turn 1. Varga moves into the podium places, and not long after he took Borja Gomez. Down the front straight we go again. Varga does manage to hold on to P2. Gomez into P3. Quartaro then, is he going to make that move upside McDonald? He is. He's been lining that one up for a number of laps now. He has finally got that overtake in. He's back into P4. He's got Borja Gomez ahead of him, and Quartaro is chasing that podium.
Yeah, absolutely. This battle for second has been incredible. I mean, these riders, Tibor Varga now at the front of the group. While he was in the back for a few laps, he was setting the fastest times, but he was just unable to find the moment. Now that he's done it, well, is that gap with Iker Garcia in the lead going to be coming down? It looks like there's a bit of a gap already between Varga, and Borja Gomez.
Yeah, only 2 riders into the 141s last time around, and that was Garcia and Varga. So Varga setting a decent pace. He's a good pace matching Iker Garcia, but so is Borja Gomez across the first couple of sectors. So nothing between them on this lap. Varga though does crucially hold on to P2 as we see Filippo Foligni, the number 10, exit this race. Is he going to rejoin? He's crashed out of a promising position inside the top 10, so disappointment for Foligni as he makes his stock debut.
Wasn't sure he was going to get that bike stopped again before hitting the board there.
Have faith, have faith. So here we can see what went wrong. Well, just no crash. Just seemed
quite a strange one.
Lock up on him, and he just rolled us into the gravel. And Foligni, it could be a technical problem because it seems he hasn't rejoined the race. Quartaro then makes his move. He's liking this move at turn 1, the number 73. Quartaro in the podium places here in the Stock European Championship race in Estoril. Tibor Varga at the head of this battle for second. Quartaro moves into third position, having relegated Borja Gomez out of the top 3 at turn 1. Repeating the move he did on Archibald McDonald just 1 lap before. Is he going to line up the same move on Tibor Varga? Will he get close enough to the Hungarian?
I mean, that's the question. It's been so good between these 4 riders battling for that P2 spot, and P3, of course. A place on the podium is what's at stake here for all 4 of them. There's only 2 more available if we assume that no one's capable of catching Iker Garcia, and with what we've seen so far today from the young Spaniard, it does appear to be that way. Never say never though, in stock.
Yeah, absolutely. So the race established into an early rhythm. Borja Gomez made a charge for the lead, took the whole shot ahead of the pole sitter Iker Garcia, and he led for the opening lap or two, but then Garcia finally found a move past the number 12 and has not looked back since. Garcia, a class above everybody else here in Estoril this weekend. The pole sitter has got a 3.5 second advantage over Tibor Varga. Cretaro then occupies the other podium place. Both Varga and Cretaro chasing a maiden podium in the class. Looking a little further down the timesheets, and we see Lorenzo Dalla Porta still in 8th position. Just hasn't gotten the grips with Estoril this weekend. As we see a change of the podium positions here, Borja Gomez strikes for his revenge. Cretaro taken on the inside by Borja Gomez. So it looks like these riders have found their favorite overtaking spot, and it is turn 1 at the end of that long home straight. It seems that's where some of the most pivotal moves of this race are going to happen. But all clear for Varga at the front of this group as these guys keep chopping and changing behind them. Cretaro running into a bit of trouble there with Archibald McDonald looking for a little move up the inside, but Cretaro does manage to hold on to P4 for the time being. But it seems Archibald McDonald's getting a little bit impatient, and he looks like he thinks he might have the better pace than Cretaro. So he's looking for his opportunity to push on through. Iker Garcia then, the number 11, as you can see, way out in front. Tibor Varga, Borja Gomez, the 47 and number 12 in 2nd and 3rd respectively.
Yeah, I mean, the position that Archibald McDonald's in right now is the position that Tibor Varga was in just a few laps ago, where he felt like he was the faster rider and had to bide his time and wait for the right moment to move ahead. And once he did, I genuinely thought that Varga was going to pull away a bit, but he just hasn't been able to, because these four are just keeping the pace with each other.
Yeah, some slow-mo shots then of the number 11 out in front. Race leader Iker Garcia coming down the front straight here in Estoril. Picture perfect in Portugal so far for the Spaniard.
Yeah, he seems to really enjoy this circuit, doesn't he? He did so well last year, this year as well. Just going to check if where he's from.
We have a change now again, once again, at turn 1. Well, we earmarked it as turn 1 is the hot spot for overtaking. That's 2 in a row from Borja Gomez. Tibor Varga, his victim this time. Nothing going for Archibald McDonald at the back of this group. He's been trying to get past Jacopo Cretaro for the better part of a couple laps now. But Borja Gomez, 2 in a row, and he has pushed Tibor Varga back into P3.
Yeah, this is a fantastic ride so far. I was just checking to see if where Iker Garcia is from was anywhere near Portugal, and that might have been a reason why he's so good at this circuit.
And?
No, he's from as far away as possible. He's from Catalonia. He's from Tarragona, I think.
Not quite as far away as possible, to be honest, Connor. But
within the context of Spain, because he's still, yeah.
Okay. Borja Gomez then leading this battle for second, I should say. Iker Garcia leading the race. Gomez leading the race for second. Ahead of the Hungarian, Tibor Varga. Jacopo Cretaro, the number 73, clinging on to 4th position. He's got Archibald McDonald all over his rear wheel as things stand. So, all eyes on this battle for second position. It's been a number of laps now, and I'm struggling to remember, Connor, an overtake that has happened that has not been at turn number 1.
No, I think it's something we've seen throughout the course of this day. Turn 1 and, of course, the penultimate and final corner have been absolutely crucial so far today in this JuniorGP FIM World Championship.
Here we go again. And guess what? Turn 1, into the drive, into turn 1. Tibor Varga strikes back. He strikes back just like the Empire.
He nailed it so well with that double overtake before. He's demonstrating what he's capable of. The problem is that none of these riders are able to pull away once they've actually got ahead, because they're really lapping at more or less the same.
Yeah, 142.5, 142.5, 142.5, and a 142.4. Archie McDonald,
who is
slightly quicker.
Increasingly frustrated because he thinks he's got the faster pace, which he does, but it's so marginal and he can't get ahead that just means that he's unable to take advantage of that fact.
Yeah, I was just about to say, here we go. I thought Jacopo Cretaro was lining up a move on the inside. In fact, he absolutely is.
Not at the beginning of thought, though.
Borja Gomez running in a little bit wide, opening the door for the number 73. He says, thank you very much. And he will pinch P3 off the Spaniard. So the Italian, searching for his first podium in this class, is now running in P3. Can he find a way past Tibor Varga, give himself a little bit of a buffer to the hard-charging Gomez and McDonald behind them?
Yeah, there's a huge gap between this group vying for P2.
Yeah.
8 seconds.
A couple of bike lanes as well have opened up between Cortaro and Gomez in the last couple of corners. It looks like Cortaro's got a bit of pace. It looks like he might have the inside line there, and Tibor Varga as we come down the front straight as Iker Garcia clocks off another 142. He's dropped into the 142s when he was doing 141s earlier. How dare you, Iker? So four abreast, it's Gomez, Cortaro, Archie Bob McDonald sits in third, but it's Gomez who's in P2. Archie Bob McDonald strikes back, gets a move done. He's been getting impatient there. So it's all going to come down. What? Just 3 laps to go. 2 more visits to turn 1. That could prove pivotal on the penultimate lap.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the last lap even, excuse me.
Well, it could prove pivotal on either of those laps. But for the time being, these 4 are offering a real gladiator battle. I mean, this has been an absolutely sensational fight from start to finish between these 4. So good. I mean, it's impossible to call, really.
Yeah, anyone's game here. We've got Borja Gomez, who's got Moto 2 European Championship podiums to his name. We've got Archie Bob McDonald, a stock winner in Portugal, but in the Algarve in Portimao in 2024. Jacopo Cortaro searching for his first podium. Looks like he was going to line one up on the inside of McDonald there. Didn't quite get it right. Tibor Varga then, Northern Talent Cup graduate, best finish as P5 in the Stock European Championship. Well, he's on for another P5 as things stand, but he wants a whole lot more.
Yeah, just looking at this gap between Borja Gomez and Archie Bob McDonald, it felt like it was coming down a bit, but it actually looks like it might be going the other way, with McDonald coming in very quickly. I mean, it's chopping and changing so quickly here. It's hard to keep tabs of.
Yeah, so here we go, down the front straight. Once again, Gomez has a commanding advantage, you would have to say, coming in turn 1. But McDonald is under serious pressure. Here comes Jacopo Cortaro on the inside, but also here comes Tibor Varga. He's too far back. Is he the Hungarian to make a move stick? He is, but McDonald has been relegated by Cortaro. Cortaro into 3rd position, setting his sights on the number 12 of Borja Gomez. So, 2 laps to go. 1 more visit to turn 1. That is the overtaking hotspot, and where we will be keeping a keen eye on proceedings. It looks like they just can't get it done anywhere else. Not at turn 4, not at turn 6, not around the final corner. So it's all going to come down to turn 1, is it? On the final lap here in Estoril. Up ahead of these riders, you have Iker Garcia, the number 11. Tibor Varga now, is he trying to move up the inside? We have an overtake at turn 6.
Oh, turn 6.
Tibor Varga moves into 4th position, but wobbles.
Bit of a moment there.
Yeah, he has a bit of a moment, and McDonald says, thank you very much, I'll take that back. So Varga is eyeing up another move on the inside here. He's getting aggressive here. He's hungry for success, you could say.
You could say that for a second time, Chris.
I know, when you strike gold, strike again.
Absolutely.
But Tibor Varga still has to sit in 5th position. McDonald holds off the challenge through the reverse corkscrew we go. Iker Garcia is away from this action. He's well ahead, well clear, nearly 5 seconds clear. Borja Gomez, he's about to clock off another lap and begin the last lap of the Stock European Championship here in Estoril. But all eyes on this battle for 2nd position. So here is Garcia, the number 11, clocks off another lap. Last lap, here we go. So, all eyes on the battle for 2nd position. Borja Gomez is in 2nd. He holds it. Cortaro and Archie Bob McDonald side by side. Cortaro takes 3rd off of the Australian Archie Bob McDonald. Tibor Varga is still in 5th position. We've seen him try a couple moves already on the last lap. Will he try a few more? Does Borja Gomez have this covered, or is Cortaro coming for him?
Well, Gomez has been leading for a while now. He does look quite comfortable despite the constant battling behind him. But I don't want to speak too soon. I mean, we've still got several visits. Well, we don't have any visits left. This is it.
Yeah, last lap drama awaits. So Iker Garcia is navigating his way past turn 6.
That's the hotspot
Jacopo
here.
Cortaro Is he going to try something inside? No, but Tibor Varga is. Tibor Varga is on the inside of Archibald McDonald. This is where it went wrong for Varga last time round, and he had a bit of a moment, and now he has moved into 4th position. Does he have anything else left in the tank to fight for that last podium place? Gomez and Crotaro have a few bike lengths advantage ahead. More than a few bike lengths ahead is Iker Garcia. He's about to come round the final corner and take victory here in the Stock European Championship for the first time. But eyes on the fight for second. It's all to fight for. Crotaro in 3rd position. Gomez looks like he's got it covered as they come onto the front straight. But victory for the pole sitter. Victory for the Spaniard. Iker Garcia nods the head. He is your winner. Borja Gomez takes 2nd. And it is a first podium for Jacopo Crotaro in the Stock European Championship. Tibor Varga in 4th. Archibald McDonald in 5th. Connor, brilliant racing here in Estoril.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. I mean, Iker Garcia from start to finish, he converted that pole into a win, which is absolutely what he needed to do. And I think it's important to underline once again how difficult that would have been, because the qualifying session was incredibly difficult to navigate, and he's done that and converted pole into a win. He will be leading the Stock Championship here, and deservedly so, with the difference here today.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from the Spaniard Iker Garcia, Yamaha GV Racing rider. P9 in last year's Stock Championship, picked up 2nd place in Estoril, 3rd place in Catalonia, so he had a couple of podiums to his name, but now he finally has that first ever Stock European Championship win. Jacopo Crotaro, he can celebrate, not coming out the best of that battle for 2nd, but taking 3rd. Borja Gomez taking 2nd, but he will be more than pleased with his P3 finish, the Italian rider of SF Racing. Tibor Varga, personal best result for him, P4. Previous best was a P5, but there will be a tinge of disappointment, you would imagine, for the Hungarian rider. He's just missing out on that podium by fractions of a second, just a 10th behind Crotaro. Archibald McDonald in 5th place. A solid start for Archibald McDonald. Good points on the board for the Australian as he gets his championship charge up and running. So we'll be hearing from the race winner Iker Garcia very soon. Connor has made his way down to Parc Ferme to grab a word with the number 11. But first, their celebrations and a lap of honor. And now we'll see them pull into pit lane. Just behind the top 5, Lorenzo Dalla Porta taking 6th position. Joan Diaz, David Jimenez, Alberto Garcia and Emmanuel Brinton, all inside the top 10. Picking up good points from the opening round of the campaign here in the north of Portugal. And the celebrations begin in Parc Ferme. What a race, say the team from Yamaha GV Racing. What a race indeed from Iker Garcia. 25 points, victory in the bag, and a visit to Jerez to look forward to for the Spaniard. We'll just take a little listen into the celebrations. Well, not quite now. So, brilliant stuff for Garcia. P2 then for Borja Gomez, the Team Honda Laglice. Time for the photos. The 1, the 2 and the 3 all on display in Parc Fermé. So Borja Gomez, a rider with a vast amount of experience, and putting that on show and on full display today as he rides to P2. Didn't have the pace to go with Garcia, but battled hard to take second place, as did Jacopo Cretaro, breaking new ground, the Italian. It's a first podium in the stock class for Cretaro, which confirmed some good progress for him. So this is a story of the race. We see Borja Gomez was in the lead across the opening laps, but then coming through the corkscrew, Iker Garcia pinned it up the inside and never looked back. The Spaniard romping home to a dominant victory here at the Stock European Championship. A little look behind him to see where the rest of the competition was. Don't worry, Iker, they were quite a way away from you. Big celebrations down in Parc Fermé for the Spaniard. We'll be hearing from him momentarily. In fact, we can hear from him now as he's with Conor Doherty.
That's right, Chris. Iker, what a race and what a weekend. Pole in tricky conditions, and then today it looked like you were on another level. Tell us how you feel.
The goal is this. Yesterday I think, and I think I can break the group. I tried to do. In the first laps I pushed very hard, and then I only managed the distance, and yeah, the race was very long for me because the laps didn't pass, but very happy. Thanks to the team for all the work, my family and my friends.
And in Spanish, please.
Bueno, la verdad, la carrera, si hubiera podido escogerlo, sería así. Tirar desde el principio, intentar escaparme y luego que pasasen las vueltas. La verdad se me ha hecho muy larga. Las vueltas no pasan, pero bueno, al final, después de mucho trabajo hemos podido ganar. Y nada, dar las gracias al equipo, a mi familia, en especial a mi padre, que trabaja más que yo para que yo esté aquí, y a mis amigos y a todo el mundo que me está apoyando. Gracias.
Congratulations.
So this is how Iker Garcia became a race winner in the Stock European Championship. He started on pole, but it was Borja Gomez who got the whole shot going into turn 1. It was elbows out racing from the beginning. And as you could see, Borja Gomez, Iker Garcia and Archibald McDonald all fighting for position. But it was Garcia who took the lead and never really looked back, opening up a gap over the chasing trio of riders vying for podium glory. Garcia romped home and kept extending his advantage as 3 became 4 in the battle for 2 podium positions, with Tibor Varga joining the fun. Unfortunately, Joan Santos was one of the riders to not see the checkered flag, but on track, Tibor Varga began to make moves, pushing himself up into the podium places at turn 1. Disappointment for Filippo Follini as well, as his race came to an early end. But in the battle for the podium, there was constant chopping and changing, with turn 1 and overtaking a hot spot. Borja Gomez leads Varga over Jacopo Cretaro. Archibald McDonald sitting in 5th place. But then Borja Gomez running us a little bit wide and opening the door for Cretaro. Gomez though was back into P2 at turn 1. Archibald McDonald moved himself into P3 with Cretaro and Varga now sitting outside the podium places, but turn 1 strikes again. Cretaro making his move into P3 in behind Borja Gomez, and from there they never looked back, nor did Iker Garcia, the number 11, taking victory here in Estoril with Borja Gomez and Jacopo Cretaro on the podium. Next up, Jerez. Can anyone catch the number 11? Make sure you tune in to find out. So time for the podium celebrations here in Estoril, the final ones of the day. It's been a brilliant day of racing here, Conor, hasn't it? And it's been a pretty good stock race to cap things off. That battle for the podium kept us on the edge of our seats to the very end.
Yeah, it was absolutely incredible, that battle for second and third. In the end, it was Borja Gomez and Jacobo Cretaro who came out on top, but you can't take anything away from the effort of Tibor Varga and Archibald McDonald.
Exactly. So, here are your podium trio. Mr. Jean-Marc Desnos handing out the trophies, as he has been all day. First up, a moment Jacopo Cretaro will never forget. The Italian with his first piece of silverware in the Stock European Championship. Then Borja Gomez back in the class, or debuting in the stock class, but back on the JuniorGP World Championship circuit. And then his piece of silverware by Mr. Armando Marquez. And our victor, Iker Garcia of Yamaha GV Racing. His first win in the Stock European class. And now, the Spanish national anthem. A round of applause all around then for our podium trio, and particularly for Iker Garcia as he gets the bubbly out and starts his celebrations. Yeah, sometimes you just have to accept it's coming your way as the team representative did there. There's
Very much acquiesced to his fate, I think.
Very much so.
Absolutely, all part of Iker Garcia's master plan.
Yeah, rock and roll stars up top.
Absolutely.
So, time for the podium photo. Iker Garcia, Borja Gomez and Jacopo Cretaro on the podium in the opening race here in 2025 at Estoril.
Here we have then the final results after that. Iker Garcia with that win. He's followed by Borja Gomez and Jacopo Cretaro onto the podium after that epic battle. Tibor Varga in 4th, Archibald McDonald in 5th, Lorenzo Dalla Porta in 6th, Joan Diaz in 7th, David Jimenez in 8th, and Alberto Garcia in 9th. Behind them, Emmanuel Brinton, Blay Trias, David Sanchez and Fran Ruiz. In P14th, Bence Queses, 15th, Ruben Romero, 16th, Alvaro Fuertes, 17th, Gonzalo Capote. Behind them, Declan van Rosmalen, 19th, Javier Del Olmo, 20th, Yeray Saiz, 21st, Nicolas Bevilacqua, 22nd, Pierfrancesco Vantorini, 23rd, Sviatoslav Pilipenko, 24th, Angel Baton, and 25th, Rodrigo Valente. Christian Italiano in 26th, Carlos Valle in 27th, and then out we've got Follini, Santos, Nestola, Malter, and Linares. Then we have our Riders' Championship after the first Stock European Championship race of the season. Iker Garcia, of course, in the lead, followed by Borja Gomez and Jacopo Cretaro. Behind them in 4th, Tibor Varga. In 5th, Archibald McDonald. 6th, Lorenzo Dalla Porta. 7th, Joan Diaz. And 8th, David Jimenez. 9th, Alberto Garcia. 10th, Emmanuel Brinton. 11th, Blay Trias. 12th, David Sanchez. And 13th, Fran Ruiz. 14th, Bence Queses, and 15th, Ruben Romero.
So the Stock European Championship race in Estoril belongs to Iker Garcia, who gets a championship charge up and running. That's a wrap on round 1 of the JuniorGP World Championship. 6 incredible races, 6 more incredible races coming in Jerez. We'll see you then.